No, I'm not changing my set, I promise. And I'm not quitting videos. I'm just exhausted. That is because last Monday, I woke up with a bug in my butt that I was gonna volunteer at the library and sort their entire collection in order to create a romance novel section. I have no idea why. Maybe it was because I started doing a spreadsheet project where I organized my entire romance novel library. My public library has genre sections for pretty much everything except romance. And I guess that just pissed me off. They claimed they didn't have the time to do it, so I was like, well, if I do it, you don't have a reason to say no. So starting Monday, I have been going every day from about 3:30 to 7 in the evening. I did that Monday through Thursday, and then Friday did 8 hours, and then Saturday did 7 hours, 6 hours, 7 hours. No, yes, I suck at math. And over 27 hours, I think that should add up correctly, I did from A to Z in their hardbacks and A to Z in their paperbacks. I did it all. I did 1,415 books. I think math-wise that works out to like a book a minute, because I would take the book off the shelf, I would look at the cover, I would use my memory, looking at the author, looking at the title, looking at the spine, skimming the synopsis, looking at who blurbed it, looking at who reviewed it. And within 1 minute, I would determine that it was a romance, write down the barcode, write down the title, and then put a little romance sticker on it and secure it with 2 pieces of tape. Now this week, I'm going back to actually pull the books and put them in their own section. And even though I was only going from 3 to 7 for most of the week, it was taking a lot out of me mentally. I'd wake up the next morning to get ready to do a video or work on a video, and my brain was like, bitch, you thought. So I thought I would update you guys with that. Shut up, doggy. And of course, I won't be done anytime soon, because even after this week, I'm still gonna have to go at least once or twice a week to check and be like, hey, who's returned romance novels in the interim? Because I don't think the staff is gonna keep an eye out for me. So, I volunteers tribute. So instead of vlogging, I was like, well, I'll just snap pictures of my adventures as I go through these millions and billions and trillions of books. The first little moment of interest was in the trade paperback / hardback section. I just hit the C's when I got to this little gem. Yeah, this fucker was there. I was so grumpy. In case you haven't heard of the, you know, Cockygate / Tiffanygate / book stuffing controversy in Romancelandia. This is Chance Carter. He is, I think as of recording this, has been kicked off Amazon for violating their book stuffing policies? That's the word I'm looking for. And it's not just that, he manipulates his fandom. He has had shady practices of trying to garner reviews using like a giveaway, quote unquote. Google it, it's the whole thing. Okay, this isn't actually romance related, but this is a book cover that I found in the A's before I got to Chance Carter. It's called Diary of an Oxygen Thief. It has the weirdest snowman that's like demonic looking with the broom stuck through him. I just thought it was hilarious. And that's a copy of the Kristen Callahan game plan. I don't know why I said it like that. That review is forthcoming. The video that got all done except for the graphics. Yeah, that's his book. It's not important. I don't know why I snapped a picture of that, because I'm weird. My husband was waiting with me at the library whenever I would do this. He would just come and hang out and read, and for some reason, he snapped a picture of me from working behind. Not that behind. He just snapped a picture of me and sent it to his dad and was like, look how cute my wife is. She's working on the thing she loves. He's adorable. Aw, and speaking of my husband, he was sitting with me while I was working in the R section. He was like, hey babe, look over. And I did, and he snapped a picture, and he's cute. I'm not even going in order anymore. I don't know why I started with the C's, acting like I was gonna remember who come next. Oh, and then of course I found Jude Devereaux's A Knight in Shining Armor, and I troll tweeted that out to Heaving Bosoms, because I'm a dick. They're a romance novel podcast to review a book every week, or recap a book every week. Mel and Aaron hated this book, and rightfully so. I mean, it's old school problematic bodice ripping at its finest. I also kept finding books in this collection that was reminding me of song lyrics. I found this Lori Wild book, Lori Wild. It's called Somebody to Love, and I was like, started humming Queen, and this other patron walked by and they just looked at me like, what is this strange woman doing? She's dressed all weird, sitting in the middle of an aisle, singing and humming Queen to herself. I didn't care, I had fun. Oh, and there's of course another book I found that I'd reviewed. Am I the only one that does that? You know, you'll either be in a library or a bookstore and you'll see a novel that you've read and really liked. You touch it, you hold it, and you're like, I know it, it's my friend. Is that just me? Interestingly, I also kept finding books in the collection that were autographed. Like, here's a Gina Showalter to Ashley Love Gina. It's The Darkest Seduction? Seduction. The Darkest Seduction, you moron. This is why I try to be scripted, guys, because the word vomit comes out and it don't stop. Oh, and here's another one, Some Like It Wild by Teresa Medeiros. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that name, I'm trash. She's actually a Kentucky author too, surprisingly. I don't know why that's surprising, I guess I just don't expect, I don't know, literate people to be in my state. Another thing I kept finding, there was these weird books that were like, I don't know, I've got snot coming out of my nose, I think I do. This one says, Black Satin, an erotic tale for women. It had to be written by a man, right? Like, it had to be. I mean, yes, there's erotica in our genre or a subgenre, depending on how you want to argue it, but that is just like, I don't know. I'm gonna have to Google it. When I started this project, one of the directors, she decided she was gonna go through all the books and tip down the ones she thought were romance to like help me out. In some cases, she would knock down literary fiction that was marked as adult, and I read the back of it and I'm like, oh, this is just a dude who thinks it's edgy to write about sex. In other cases, she would tip over women's fiction or chick lit, which I hate both of those descriptions because why is there women's fiction but no men's fiction? Because sexism and patriarchy. If you talk about female relationships and female friendships and female emotions, suddenly that is only exclusive to females. Despite the fact that our entire media, you know, crams down the male gaze and the male perspective and the male opinion and male characters and male superheroes and on and on and on I could go. I'm rambling again, forgive me. But this got me thinking how society will look at a book and they're like, oh, that's definitely a romance. Of course that's a romance. And then they'll look at another book and go, well, obviously that's not a romance. And yet Heather Graham's The Death Dealer, 100% romantic suspense. You look at this cover and you're like, that's a romance? And when I say you, I obviously mean some asshat who likes to judge us. I don't read romantic suspense because it's not really my jam. I like internal conflict, and romantic suspense and paranormal, come to think of it, are all externally driven. But I love this cover. I would have this cover on my wall. And again, there's another one, Kay Hooper's Blood Dreams. You look at that and you're like, romance? And again, the you in this case is some, you know, dickwad. Throughout this project, of course, I would find books that I was really interested in that piqued my interest. One of those was Amanda Ashley's Beauty's Beast. I mean, aside from the fact that it's, you know, Beauty and the Beast, I'm like, yes, give me that. The cover is cool. It's this guy who's all robed and this woman who's in this gorgeous gown, like at his feet, but not really at his feet. She's more like down below looking up, which if you're only listening to me and not watching this video, that probably sounds really inappropriate. That's not how I mean it. I don't know, just the cover and the use of red, of how it pops through. It's just, it grabbed my ass. I'm gonna look and read the synopsis later and see if this is something I would want to read. Another example, Brenda Joyce's Persuasion. This interested me, mainly because I think it's Renaissance era-ish. I don't know clothing or, you know, facts. Somebody out there who knows fashion history and clothing is looking at me like, you are a damn idiot. I don't know, it grabbed me. I'm interested. I'm gonna read the back of the cover. Synopsis. I'm going to investigate it at a later point. Oh. Here was a fun one. Debbie Mason's Kiss Me in Christmas. Does this look like a Christmas title to you? Not me. There's flowers and it's brightly lit and it's like all springtime. And I'm just like, why does this say Christmas? Maybe there's an explanation. Maybe it's like Christmas in July. I don't know. It's just weird. Oh, speaking of odd, romance novels also are like the one genre where we have long fucking titles. I mean, no shade against the authors who do use long titles, but like, here's Elizabeth Boyles and the Miss ran away with the rake. I don't know, maybe that doesn't sound very long hearing it, but when you're writing that thing down, God, your hand falls off. Still a pretty cover though. I like the fact that her back is to us. That's kind of unusual, I feel like. Ooh, and here's another one with heroine to the back. This is Brenda Jackson's A Man's Promise. And tell me that cover does not grab you and say, bitch, read me. I don't know what it's about, but I'm gonna find out. That also kind of brings me to another point of criticism I have for my library. You know, for all the Rachel Gibsons out there who claim that there's no such thing as racism in publishing, I found 1,415 romance novels. I could count on one hand how many of those romance novels were about or by people of color. And I'm not just talking black people, I mean just any person of color. 5, maybe 10, if we're being generous. And as far as LGBTQIA plus people, oh yeah, 2. One was Laura Kay's Hard to Be Good, and it wasn't even a full-length novel, it was a novella, which, I mean, hey, at least it's something. And it is also very interesting that, you know, of the very few people of color characters, Laura Kay was one of the ones who wrote a black hero, Hard to Hold On To by Laura Kay. And again, it's a novella. It's better than nothing, I suppose, but it's infuriating. I don't know if I should be surprised or all that angry. I should be angry, but I guess I shouldn't be surprised because I do live in the Bible Belt. You know I live in the Bible Belt because here is a picture of an entire row of inspirationals. It's like the Amish romances slash Christian fiction. Oh sure, we got a whole row of those, but you know, when it comes to queer people and non-white people, we have like 10. Oh, but you can bet your ass I did not sort those. Those absolutely are gonna stay right where they are. That's the benefit of being a volunteer. They can't tell me to go through all of those Christian fiction romances and name them as romances. They got their own section. They're doing fine. In doing this, I found out that Elizabeth Hoyt has contemporaries. I know! Yeah, they're under a pen name, Julia Harper. Julia Harper, yeah, I said that right. That was pretty cool. I did not expect that. I learned a thing. I also got a chuckle too. Here's one I found. Fabio's Comanche. Now for anybody that's very new, very new to the romance genre, I'm pretty sure you know who Fabio is, but in case you don't, he was a quintessential romance novel cover hero, cover model. This is why I don't like to be unscripted, people. But a little known fact is he also wrote romance novels. Yeah. Oh, and fun fact, hey, none of my stuffed animals fell. What did you know? I actually own one. Yeah, this is Rogue by Fabio, which you know he didn't actually write these. But this is special because not only is it signed, yes, signed. Not only does it have this hilariously terrible step back, but I actually got this from the Red Bodice. This was only the Fabio heart necklace, which yes, I have that. I actually can't stand Fabio, really. He's kind of the only thing that the average, you know, human knows about romance. That and 50 Shades of Grey. But I don't know, there's just this kind of like love-hate dynamic I have with him. He's like the representation of our genre and how far our genre has come. And I also can't stand him because of his political and social viewpoints, but you know, that's a whole nother video. And I guess we will end this video with probably my favorite moment of this project. I came across a Carolyn Brown title called The Trouble with Texas Cowboys. So I wrote on Twitter, is that most of them are racist, homophobic, xenophobic, transphobic, sexist bigots? Question mark? Hashtag not all Texans, but if you're from there, you know your state is like the asshole of the Republican Party. I have some more pictures and some more things that I found, but I think this video is long enough. I've been recording for 40 minutes. Yes, guys, that's how long it takes me to record a video. But I didn't want to not make anything this week. I've got so much to catch up on. I need to finish last week's video, and I've got a script I need to edit, and another script I need to write, and a third script I need to work on memorizing, and graphics to make, and a video to export and upload and caption and thumbnail and blah. Yeah, so I need to play catch up this week. And while I do have videos in my backlog, I didn't want to use those because I just didn't want to get stressed out that I was gonna, you know, fall behind. So I hope this video was kind of watchable. If you have any questions about this project that I've been doing at the library, or if you've read any of the books that I mentioned or saw, or I don't know, just talk at me in the comments. I'll probably talk back. Yeah, so that's it.